Mr. Sheahen and I can obviously go on for hours. Ryan Kerns, what's your thoughts?
I tend to agree with Robert on this one, with 17-year-olds and 26-year-olds. I think that's an absurdity that you can't consent to sexual relations, but a teacher, and Sarah Jones admitted this outside of court, so she wasn't under oath. She admits that what she did was wrong. If you have a 17-year-old and a teacher that are close and have family relations but know each other outside of the school situation, you have to be aware that he's 17 and you're 26 or 27, and wait 6 months until it's no longer illegal, or until he's no longer he's no longer your student. People are aware of the laws. You know that's the law. And so when you willingly break it and just hope that you can get away with it, love's not an excuse for when you break the law.
Love's not an excuse, Mr. Sheahen.
Let me ask you a question. Same set of facts. Student's 18, same result?
Well, students, it's not illegal. There's no crime.
What I'm saying is the law is absurd. The law is an ass. Making a distinction between a 17-and-a-half-year-old and an 18-year-old is lunacy. An 18-year-old student can fall in love with his 26-year-old teacher.
I think in any teacher handbook, no matter how, in high school, no matter how old the student is, you can't have a sexual relationship with them.
That's a different issue, because you're saying on the one hand a teacher can't do it, and then you're saying on the other hand that it's the age that makes the difference.
To me, it's both. And any female, if there's an underage female and a male, the male gets slammed in court. The male gets sentenced to years in prison for this kind of behavior. All I'm saying is, I think that a female should be treated the same way that a male is.
Do you disagree then with the actual sentencing? Because you have here a 17-year-old and a 26-year-old.
I think the problem with the case was that even though lots of prosecutors will say, I can make the case without the victim, it's really hard to convict someone when the victim is not going to testify against her, is going to say there's no crime. And I think that the prosecutors, basically, their case fell apart because the victim wasn't interested in prosecuting her.
Not only not interested in not prosecuting, but actually advocated on the side of Sarah Jones.
Absolutely. So I think that this was a question of, what were they going to do? Now, these text messages apparently were very steamy, very racy, and it would have swayed some people, but I don't think it was enough for a conviction. So I think they decided to cut their losses, get her to plead to something, put her on probation. You know, she's not registering as a sex offender. I don't know, is there community service here?
There was no community service.
No community service. So, you know, I think they felt that they were getting something instead of nothing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, here we go.
She's not registering as a sex offender. Do you think that this 26-year-old woman, for the rest of her life, whenever she goes into a town, within 5 days of going into that town, should go to the chief of police and say that back in 2012, I was in love with a 17-year-old boy, and that she should do that for the next 50 years?
You used the word boy. Mr. Sheahen, you did use the word boy, and I'm saying that if men have to do it, women should too. That's how I feel. We want to hear what you think about this. It is a hot button issue. It is heated in this office, and we want to know, do you agree with me? Do you agree with Mr. Sheahen? Men, is it split down gender lines? I don't know. Maybe I'm off here. I think that this was a teacher. This was an underage kid. Close the book. Not Mr. Sheahen, not Mr. Kerns. Love to hear what you think.